Now,
Hey guys, on popular demand, people have been asking me how I make a pizza, so I'm just going to make a video because that's easier for me than to write it down. So, sorry, this will be like a little bit of the Blair Witch project because I've never done this, but let me try and get a video. So I have about I have 1.5 cup of water, and I have my yeast which is blooming. Let me show this. So blooming yeast just means you take yeast, you take 2.25 teaspoons of yeast and you add warm water and 1 tablespoon of sugar. That's really important because sugar is what the yeast eats. I like to use bread flour. I don't have the packaging, but I use a brand called King Arthur's bread flour. It's better than all-purpose flour because it has the right gluten content that you need for your pizza. So I'm just going to measure out 1, 2, 2, and I am going to add about 1 cup of this whole wheat flour. So it's kind of like a mix of whole wheat and flour in kind of a 1:3 ratio. So this goes in here as well. Actually, I need a little bit more bread flour. Perfect. Okay, now I am going to add some olive oil into this. And olive oil, you can pretty much eyeball it. You know, I go with about two tablespoons, but it could be, just eyeball it. So we go 1. And thank you, Kabir, for doing this for me.
you're welcome.
My friend Kabir here is helping me set this all up. I also have about 1 cup of warm water to help with the kneading. So I've already put 2 cups of water inside it, but if I need more, I will go as I start kneading the dough. Okay, just hold it like this here. Perfect. Thank you, Kabir. And I'm going to lock this in place, and I'm going to start with a stir, and I am going to add my yeast to it. Kabir, can you point on the yeast? Yeah, there's the yeast, there's the frothy yeast, the bloomed yeast like I shared, and I'm just going to pour it in. Ball like a, and then I can I know the lighting is not the best here. There we go. So you see it's very soft. It's still not looking smooth. It still needs a little bit more doing, but as you can see, it's really soft and it's not sticking on my fingers as much. So it's actually getting there, but just remember it has to be really, really soft. Don't let it get hard. So yeah, keep going for a few more, maybe 30 more seconds in the KitchenAid, and maybe I can increase the speed just a little bit. I'll go to number 4. It's forming a nice ball, and that's all you're looking for at this point. Okay, look, the and then what I like to do is just work it with my hands a little bit. So I get rid of the KitchenAid. Oops, I get rid of the KitchenAid. I take out all the little pieces of dough, push it to the side, and then I'll show you how I knead it with my hands. So I just work it in, just like pull it around, again making it a little pliable. And Kabir is giving me commentary in the back. So anyhow, just a few tips. That's the most, really, bread making and pizza making is not hard at all. So I'll just give you a few quick tips. The first tip is when you're blooming your yeast, make sure you add a tablespoon of sugar because that is what will feed the yeast. That's the food it gets, and then it starts releasing its bubbles. It's basically burping and it's releasing those bubbles, and that's what makes it fluffy. The second thing is don't add a lot of salt in your dough because just like sugar feeds the yeast, salt actually retards the growth. So you don't want too much salt. You add a little salt to get the taste, but not a whole lot. So I add about maybe 1.5 teaspoons. And is there a third tip? Yeah, just work a little bit with your hands, just let it get more pliable, more soft, and just like smooth. And then once it gets smooth, I'm going to pause the video here and then I'm going to show you how I cut it up into 3 pieces and put it in a Ziploc and let it rest and expand. And if you're making pizza in the next hour or so, you can just leave it in a warm place, so let it expand. But if you have time, I like to actually do a slow rise, which is in the fridge. So I break it up into 3 balls, put it in a Ziploc and put it in the fridge and let it sit for say 8 to 10 hours. And that gives a really nice flavor. It develops the yeast, it develops the flour, and I think that's the best pizza result. So I'll pause here and then I'll come back when I show you how I cut up the dough. Okay, so I'm at my counter now. My my counter is really clean. I cleaned it up multiple times with a paper towel and water, and now I'm just, you know, just kind of getting it into a nice shape. Maybe the light angle will be better this way. Yeah. Finding different ways to balance. So yes, so as you can see, it's really nice and smooth, looks clean. My hands are not getting as sticky and dirty. They're just kind of staying really nice and clean. So I just, you know, just a little bit of elbow grease, just run it. And what I like to do is add a few drops of water as I go. Warm water again. Remember, you need the warmth to let the yeast rise. And I will now use my any kind of knife, or I have a pastry cutter. I'll just use that to cut this into 3 balls. That's it. So make it into a little bit of a log. There you go. Cut it up into 3 pieces. And I'm going to get a big Ziploc bag. Pour some oil into it. Just a little bit. Rub it around so that the dough does not stick to the Ziploc bag. And I got my 3 almost equal pieces. And here's what I like to do. So just kind of go around. This is a pretty classic bread making technique when how you make a ball, because this keeps it nice and tight, smooth. So my first ball goes into this. My second ball, which has become a little bigger, but that's okay, goes into this. And my third ball goes into this. And now I'm going to put it in the fridge to let it rise for anything from 8 to 16 hours. It doesn't matter. In fact, my experience, the longer you let it rise, the better it comes out. So just take out all the air, squeeze it out, flatten it out. And that's it. And then this goes into the refrigerator, and by evening it will have more than doubled its size. Okay guys, I will take another video when I'm actually rolling out my pizza and putting the pizza sauce and the toppings. I hope this is helpful. Bye, take care.